Okay, today I'm cooking pork adobo in a pressure cooker. There are a lot of different recipes for this. Everybody has their own version of it, but this is just something that I've kind of tried over time, and it seems like it works the best in the pressure cooker. I'd probably do something a little bit different if it was on the stove and I had more time, but this is something that you can do. Takes about right around an hour total between the entire cooking process. Keep in mind that while you're doing the cooking process in the Instant Pot or the pressure cooker, you could also be cooking rice in your rice cooker, or you could be cooking rice on the stove so that you have that ready at the same time, because rice pairs really well with this dish. So basically what we have, I have a Power Pressure Cooker XL, which is kind of similar to the Instant Pot. It's not the same thing, but the settings are pretty similar. So typically you would hit the meat setting, and what that'll do is it'll start the basically the searing process. You'll hear it beep, it'll kick on, and then the temperature is going to rise pretty quickly in there. What I have sliced up here, pieces of pork belly. This is about a 2 pound piece of pork belly, and I just cut it up into kind of uniform cubes. Um, You don't really need to season them before they go in there. The idea behind putting them into the pressure cooker while the pressure cooker is getting hot like this is just to build a crust and kind of seal in some of the flavor of the pork, and you get a much better result as far as the coloring and the final presentation of it when it's done. So once we get this part done here, then we will start adding ingredients. Depending on the size of your pressure cooker, you might have to do this in batches. This Power Pressure Cooker XL is the 10 quart model, so I'm actually able to fit quite a bit more than somebody could if they were using one of the standard Instant Pots. I believe they're 4 or 6 quart. I know they make larger versions, but this is just the one that I have on hand, and it actually does a pretty good job for the price point. But yeah, we'll get these in here. Like I said, if you have a smaller one, do it in batches so it makes them brown a little bit more evenly. I can pretty much get the entire amount in this and just cover the bottom of the pressure cooker, and so that's good enough for it to do what it needs to do. And so we will get that part started, and we'll check back in just a minute, and I will kind of show you what it looks like before I start adding the ingredients. And we Okay, we're back again, and so basically, like I said, we wanted to kind of sear the actual pork that we were using, the pork belly, get a little bit of brown on it. It doesn't have to be totally brown because it's going to spend about right around 35 to 40 minutes under pressure in the pressure cooker, and with the soy sauce in there, it's going to get plenty dark anyway. So we'll kind of go over the ingredients. I use a half a cup of vinegar. I use the Silver Swan brand. It's what I use. It's good stuff. I just prefer it. So put that in there. Then we have a half cup of soy sauce from the same brand. We have one whole red onion, and it's just basically rough cut up. You can add more if you'd like. Depends on how many onions you want in it. The same thing goes with garlic. So typically I do 6 cloves of garlic if I have like a group of people coming over and I don't know how everybody's going to like it. But if I'm doing it for myself, 6 cloves means like 8 or 12, as everybody knows, that you just add as much as you want in there. It's not going to hurt anything, and it's just going to make the flavor better the more you add. So you can go crazy with it. I do 3 tablespoons of white sugar and 2 tablespoons of cane sugar. And then we have 3 bay leaves. We have about a tablespoon of black peppercorns. And if you really want to give it a little bit of extra flavor, I have some magic syrup that you can add in there. It's really good stuff. You don't need to add the whole package of it because it does pack a lot of extra flavor. Trying to clean as I go kind of thing here. Some people may be freaking out because I'm using a metal utensil. Don't worry, this is the stainless steel version, not the non-stick version. So I actually prefer that so that I can use metal utensils in it because they just scrape better. If you are using non-stick, do not use metal on the inside of it because it will damage the non-stick surface on the inside of your pan. And nobody likes eating that stuff when it peels off the inside. So only use metal if you're using stainless steel and or if you're cooking with like copper cookware or something like that. If you're using anything else that's got a non-stick like a Teflon surface, whether or not they say that you can use metal utensils, stay away from using them. It'll make your pans last a lot longer. You want to use something like bamboo or just a wooden utensil or plastic utensil for that, just depending on what you have laying around. So from here, we're going to hit cancel on the simmering section of it, and simmering and searing section. I'm going to put the lid on the pressure cooker and lock it. Usually, depending on which model you have, the Power Pressure Cooker XL has a knob here at the top and a little arrow on it. So you basically aim the arrow towards the pressure side, and then all you're going to do is hit the, come around to the other side here. It'll be easier for you to see what buttons I'm pressing. So I usually just hit the meat button. It gives you 15 minutes, and then I do the time adjustment to about 37 minutes. And you can do anywhere from 35 to 40 minutes. It seems to work pretty well. When it's done, everything is incredibly tender and basically falling apart, and all those flavors are mixed together pretty well. We will check back in when the pressure cooker is done doing its job. One thing that seems to work pretty well is when this finishes up, it works the same on any pressure cooker. You can either do a manual release if you want it to open quicker, but I tend to let it do the natural release. It takes about an extra 10 to 12 minutes, and it just seems to turn out better. I don't know the science behind it exactly, but it does seem to work a little bit better. So I let it do the natural release, and then after it does that, then we'll move on to the next step. Okay, we're back again, and so the pressure cooker did finish its natural release. Once you can turn the knob, nothing comes out. Lid off. You got to be very careful because it is hot and some of the liquid gets trapped up there. You don't want to burn yourself. So inside of here right now, pork is super tender, not quite dark enough, and it's still pretty liquidy. So the last step that we're going to do is we're actually going to press the meat button on the pressure cooker again. Just tap the button. And what that's going to do is it's going to basically bring the liquid up to a boil that's in there, and it'll allow it to thicken up and reduce down quite a bit. You leave the lid off for this part of the process. It takes about 15 minutes. You kind of want to stir it somewhat frequently because it's going to get so hot that with the sugars and stuff like that, it'll end up burning to the bottom, and you don't want the sugars burning like that because it's going to end up putting off a kind of a bitter taste, and nobody likes that flavor. So we'll let it reduce down a little bit, and then I will plate it and show you the final product, and hopefully this turns out good because this is my first cooking video that I've actually ever done. You see the logo on my shirt right now. I actually have a Instagram page called Food Baby BBQ. And I do a lot of cooking on there, but it's mostly posting photos. I don't do a whole lot of actual like video stuff. I may do some more of that in the future, but I kind of wanted to try something fun for this channel, and maybe this will branch out to me doing more cooking videos on my other channel and some more on this one if everybody ends up enjoying it. I don't know what I'll cook next. Maybe you guys give me some suggestions in the comments, and I'll give it a shot and see what I can do, and hopefully try not to embarrass myself too much. This is a learning process for me. I have a new camera. I'm using the Insta360 X5 right now. Instead of having my own camera crew, I'm just kind of giving it a shot and see what happens. So hopefully it is doing a good enough job for me, and hopefully I'm doing good enough job for you, kind of explaining how this works and giving you some ideas for some simple, quick to make recipes that you can try. So we'll check back in just a little bit as soon as this finishes simmering and reducing down. And okay, we've been reducing for 15 minutes now. Pork has taken on quite a bit more color than it originally had. Once the sauce starts to reduce down, actually get some pretty amazing looking stuff there. And it is incredibly tender. And don't forget the actual liquid in the bottom, because it's also filled with quite a bit of flavor. That slotted spoon was not getting it done, so got a little bit on top of our rice. And you can reduce it down further. Something else you can do is actually, and I do it quite a bit too, I just didn't have enough time to do it tonight, but you can also add some potatoes in there. It actually turns out really good with that, with either the chicken or the pork. You can do this same recipe with chicken or with pork. If you're going to do it with chicken, I'd recommend using like chicken thighs instead of chicken breast, because chicken breast tends to dry out a little bit. The chicken thighs have quite a bit more fat in them, quite a bit more flavor in them, and they seem to do quite a bit better than the breast meat does when you're trying to make something like this. So if you want to give it a shot, I'm pretty sure you won't be disappointed. And realistically, it only takes about maybe an hour total, including prep time. And it's always worth it. Turns out delicious every single time. So thank you for watching my video. Like I said, this is the first time I've done this. I'm probably, well, it depends on how this turns out and how long it takes me to edit this. This could take a month to come out, or it could come out tomorrow. I hope you enjoyed it, and if not, I'll try to do better next time. So send me some of your ideas of something you might want to see me cook, and I will see if I can get to them. Like I said, my Food Baby BBQ page on Instagram, I mostly do barbecue related content on there. Like I said, I don't do any real posting of cooking videos or anything, but I just kind of show the final product of what I'm making most of the time, but a lot of it's barbecue related. But I also try to mix it up, and I cook a pretty wide variety of just about everything on there. So if you have a chance, check that out, and I'll try to post cross-post some stuff between this page, my Manila Bound Michigander page, and my Food Baby BBQ page, and we'll see how it turns out.